What's up, everybody? I'm just testing out a new live stream setup. Working on some things, working out some kinks. I've been using StreamYard. Wasn't happy with the quality, though. So now I'm back to OBS. I'm doing that whole bouncing back and forth thing. But I've noticed, just looking at my YouTube studio down there, that things are slightly more complicated than they used to be. Old man Matt hasn't streamed in a while through this, and it looks like the kids have taken over. Things are getting a lot more complicated these days. Maybe if I was streaming like Fortnite or something, I'd probably get the hang of things. But if you're watching, for the two of you watching that are out there, let's take a look at my phone, because I'm so prepared for this stuff. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Try to answer them. But I just wanted to quickly riff on the podcast episode that went out today. If you're not a listener to the Matt Report, why the heck not? It's one of the highest rated podcasts. I think it's still the highest rated podcast for WordPress. WordPress, as we had the discussion this morning. Can I call the Matt Report a WordPress podcast anymore? I don't know. I've been trying not to. But somehow I still keep going back to it. Don't know why. How does the audio sound if you're watching? I'm just very curious how it sounds, how it looks. Just trying to sharpen this whole thing up. In today's podcast episode, check it out. Let's pull it up on the screen. In fact, all episodes. Is an idea accelerator. So if you're somebody who is working on a business, you have a new product, you have a new service, and you really want to stretch the legs of it, really just get out there and pitch it, right? Which is, to me, one of the most important parts, of building a business. Pitching it, getting other people to shake their heads, nod their heads, and say, yeah, this is a thing, and this makes sense to me. It's a very important part of the process. It's not just building the product, marketing the product, but it's getting out there. It's feeling confident, and that's really what I hope I can deliver as value through this program. So anyway, business5000.com. Head on over there. Check out the video. There's an audio clip. I'll talk about it on this channel quite often. But the most important part is sign up to that newsletter, because that's where the fun stuff, pretty sure I've muted my live stream, says Mora. Mora is absolutely correct. Thank you, Mora, for being on top of that. This is why we do things live, because I don't have a mic input in that scene. Oh, we probably have audio now. This is where we lost audio before. We probably have audio now. Thank you, Mora, for slacking that over to me. Other things we talked about in today's podcast episode is Syed Balki has acquired the all-in-one SEO plugin, and I think this is just an amazing roundup of tools and software that his team at Awesomotive is offering customers. I'm just going to pull up the article over on post status. This is a really good interview as well with Brian over at Post Status with Syed to offer some insights and some vision for what Syed's going to do with that product. And I really think it's just a phenomenal fit. And my prediction is that Automotive Syed is then going to move into e-commerce and starting to sell product to really just round out everything else that they're doing. I mean, the writing is literally on the wall at this point. You had OptinMonster, which is arguably one of his most successful products, which is something that will turn your traffic into eventual leads and get them into some kind of automated drip campaign or marketing funnel. And then you had his form plugin, WP Forms, which is just another way for you to capture leads and maybe connect them to other services. You know, like if you're not using OptinMonster, let's say, you can also do probably some donations and some micro selling at that level. He has Trust Pulse. I always forget the name of it. Trust Pulse, which is it's a marketing. Whoops, that's a competitor ad right there. We don't want to do that. We want to look at Trust Pulse. Grow your business with honest marketing. With air quotes in there, honest marketing. I don't know how honest it is. I mean, what happens if you're not having any sales? Does a Trust Pulse not pulse? Can you set it to show some faux Trust Pulse? But anyway, the idea is it sort of shows people, hey, look, somebody just bought something. So we're getting all the pieces of the puzzle together here for a complete e-commerce suite. And I think that it's just a smart choice, and we'll see more of it, in the future. The other thing that I talked about on the channel last week or 2 weeks ago was this thing called feature lust, right? The other part of today's podcast episode is about a theme called BlockC, which I recently previewed over on the Plugin Tut channel. And I saw, and like the reason why I pulled this up and started previewing it was because I've seen so many people. Number one, people have been messaging me and say, hey, you should really review this theme on Plugin Tut. It's a great theme, yada, yada, yada. And then I would see folks in other like WordPress Facebook groups, especially the page builder groups like an Elementor or a Beaver Builder, really just saying things like, hey, this is the best theme ever. I am going to switch to, this theme and just sort of just move away from everything. And that might be some of the try to pull it up here. It might be a little hard to see on the stream, and definitely check out the video. But you'll see at the bottom half, you see these 3 rows. And what this does is allow you to move the elements of your header or footer, like a logo, a navigation item, or any of these elements that they give you in the customizer, to do all of that stuff without code, and literally drag and drop blocks, not Gutenberg blocks, but blocks to reposition these elements. Awesome. Really powerful. Works with Gutenberg, works with page builders. Thumbs up. I'm just curious on the longevity, the sustainability of a business that is, leading with free, fast, most. And where does that take us? Where does that take that business? And what does it do to the ecosystem of consumers, right? I mean, for years, people have been trained that free is the most you should ever spend on WordPress. I think people are getting a little bit more apt to spending some money for good product. And I'm just curious how this moves people. Like, if you picture, the thing that comes to mind is like, what do you call a bunch of bees going at once? Is it a flock of bees? I don't know what it is. Like a swarm of bees going from one piece of, WordPress product, and all of a sudden a new shiny one comes out, and they leave that one, and they leave that one decimated and just used up, and they go to the next big honey-laden WordPress product, and then they start consuming that, and then there's another free one, and that whole swarm of bees leaves to the next thing. And it just makes me think of, like, how can people build sustainable businesses? Or is this what it is these days? Like, you have to have something so awesome, so feature-rich, and so free that the currency is traded on the amount of people that use it, and then you just hope to gain, some of that traffic away from other competitors. And I'm starting to see this en masse, right? This is just something that is not unique to WordPress. This happens in all kinds of free products. Social media platforms are free, right? And more features, more things to do, attracts other people and attention there. I recently saw this with, again, going back to Elementor, the same thing. They did a post. Let's see if I can pull it up. They recently did a post on their blog. They hit 4 million active installs, which is crazy. How fast this theme this page builder has grown. And I guess that is a testament to, when you put out something very powerful, feature-rich, and free, more importantly, enabling to the end user, right? Because it's not just free and featureful. It's that Elementor enables somebody to not just build a website, but start a career without having to learn code. So imagine, if you had to fast track yourself into being a web designer or a web developer, Elementor and these page builders, this is part of the reason why you've seen such explosive growth. Same as WordPress, right? I mean, it's the same thing, the same story. Community has spoken, announcing the winning feature. So apparently they opened up their next feature vote to their community, which is pretty cool. And one of the biggest features that was voted on for the next big feature of Elementor out of these 4 here is steps for forms, Lottie, which I'd have to go back to the other post to see what that was, lead collection, and then Instagram. But 7,300 votes to steps for forms wins. I don't know if anybody's chatting with me because I have it covered up. And that's pretty crazy, right? So, what you're looking at here is Elementor now being a solution for forms. I mean, it already had a basic form in it. And when you think about Elementor being at 4 million active installs, you think about all of the popular form builders out there, and we go back to feature lust of packs of customers moving around and going from solution to solution. I mean, they're going to take a chunk of form users from, Syed, WP Forms, Ninja Forms, Gravity Forms, Formidable Forms, Caldera Forms, Contact Form 7, all of these form builders out there. Market's big. Guess that's good. But look at what people want. People want this. They want more advanced forms. And these are just steps, right? This is, I guess, something minimal where you can just, create steps in a form. But I just see this as continued growth and attention in the form builder. They have a pop-up already. I mean, Elementor is also poised to do e-commerce. Why wouldn't they? Right? They have the attention. Giveaway promotional thing, which competes with other plugins too. Lottie just sounds like lottery. I think that's what that is. Lead collection was just a hair behind that with 3,800 votes. Right? So now you want more lead collection. They're going to turn into an opt-in monster competitor. Like, everybody is just fighting for the customer experience. And I guess I'll end the stream, on that same thought is, so is WordPress. So is Automatic, right? Everyone's competing with this complete ecosystem. That is the thing these days. This was like 15 years ago. That's what you had to do. You had to be everything for everyone. And then people started saying, I really want to get niche SaaS products because big behemoth product isn't doing exactly what I need for this one area. So I'll go and I'll find a service that solves this one area. And now there's a million one area services, one feature services. And people are like, I'm either paying too much to too many people, or now I'm logging into too many things and too many people. Give me something that has everything all in one. And I think that's where Automatic and Jetpack will win, specifically in the WooCommerce space. We won't get into that in this video, but that's where they'll have to win, because that's where everyone is winning. Clean, all-in-one solution / ecosystem. Give me everything in one place. It'll be a hard ride for a lot of us small-time, product developers out there. It's going to be a hard ride to compete with that stuff. Well, I just wanted to test this live stream. I went longer than I anticipated. I don't even know how to stop this thing because it's been a while since I've used it. But I first click, I will end it in OBS. Thanks for watching. It's Matt Report, mattreport.com, mattreport.com/subscribe to join that mailing list. Listen to today's episode. It's up. It's in your podcast players. Hopefully 124 reviews on iTunes. If you have 2 seconds today, open up your podcast app on your phone, on your Mac. Leave us a review, please. Really helps us get found. And by us, I mean me. It helps me get found. I'm the only guy here at Matt Report. Plug and Tut. Go to youtube.com/plugandtut and check out that BlockC theme. It's pretty cool. Let me know what you think. Doing some other stuff up there with Gutenberg. I know everyone's a fan. All right. We'll see you in the next